Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome back. I'm Joe Linder with Joe's Phenomenal. And today we're going to be doing a little bit of Asian shrimp stir fry. Shrimp is an awesome protein. There's a lot of reasons to love it. It's tasty, it's low calorie, it's really high protein, especially for the amount of calories that are in it. And because of that, it's a go-to protein for a lot of bodybuilders.
I'll be back.
And also for a lot of people that are trying to drop weight that are on special diets. As always, if you look down in the description of the video, there's going to be all the information you need about this recipe. All the ingredients, how much, calorie content, fat, carbs, protein, all the information you could possibly want to know. You know, and while you're checking that out, might as well smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way you're always going to be up to date on all of our newest videos and all of our updates to the channel. You know, I think you're really gonna love this recipe. Not only because it's a low calorie meal, but it takes 10 minutes to cook, 20 minutes including all the prep time, which really isn't a whole lot. And it's gonna make 4 or 5 servings, 6 if you're stretching it out a little bit. What more can you ask? With all that being said, let's get ready to cook.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Our first step is to get the wok hot. So we're going to want to do that over medium heat. The reason we're using medium heat is because we are going to be using sesame oil. Sesame oil has a much lower burn temperature. So therefore we don't want to heat it up quite as much or we'll smoke it and it's going to really make everything taste like garbage. We're going to go ahead and throw our oil in. You want to coat the pan really well with that. Give it a second to warm up. You'll be able to tell when the oil is hot enough because you'll start to see ripples forming in the oil. Remember that this is not high heat, so the ripples that form are going to be a lot less noticeable than they might be if you were using like an olive oil or a canola oil or something like that. First ingredient in is going to be our garlic.
Holy shit! Let's get out of here!
And we're going to follow that up with our red bell peppers and our celery. The reason the bell peppers and celery go in first is because they will take the longest to cook. You want to put your ingredients in descending order, with the first being the longest cook times, the hardest substances, and then the softest stuff at the end. Remember, this is not called a stir fry for no reason. Basically, you are always stirring your contents around. That's why the wok is shaped the way it is.
Ah, are you ready, comedy partner? Waka waka.
It promotes doing that. I'm going to increase the heat a little bit closer to a medium-high. Now this is going to depend greatly on your cooktop and how hot it actually gets and how large your burners are. The bigger the burners, the less heat you need to put on them to get the same amount of results in your pan. So we're going to keep stirring this until we're looking like we're about halfway cooked on our vegetables, halfway, depending on how you want them. A lot of people like them a lot more crunchy. We're not going to really cook them completely through because we don't want mushy vegetables. But we're going to be almost ready to put some shrimp in here. Once you got your vegetables cooked about halfway, our next ingredient is going to be the shrimp. So let's kind of throw all that in. I'm going to stir that in there. Now the shrimp is cold, or room temperature actually, but it's going to bring the temperature down on your cooking a little bit, so you need to give this a little bit of extra time. You can even bring the heat up in order to kind of offset that. You know, one of the reasons shrimp is one of my favorite proteins is because it's so easy to tell whether or not it's cooked. If it's looking like that, that's not cooked.
It's the same mistake again, it's just raw. Off!
The more it looks kind of orange like this, the more opaque it gets, the more cooked it is. So basically we're just going to keep stirring this around until we're kind of getting that opaque look on our shrimp. Keeping in mind you want to keep stirring them around to cook all this evenly. You can really tell even in this video about exactly how fast this shrimp's cooking. I'm really not speeding this up at all. This is pretty much how fast this is going to cook in real time for you. Also on a related note, I do have the heat set to high right now, seeing as how all this extra ingredients in here is dropping the temperature just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and throw a little bit of pepper in here. Looks like a lot there, but it's not really, considering we have other ingredients going into this too. So that looked a little scary. Don't worry, it's not. If pepper freaks you out though, you can always use less. There are a lot of other ways to make stir fry, but the way I like to make it is actually one of the healthier ways as well. Okay, as you can see now, it's looking like those shrimp are getting pretty opaque. They're getting pretty good there. Now you don't want to overcook shrimp. You overcook it a little bit, not so bad. You overcook it a lot, it's rubber and gross. So we don't want to do that. So right now we're getting ready to throw in our next set of ingredients. Basically, you got a little bit of hondashi.
What?
This is basically almost like Japanese fish flake. You can get this at Asian markets. I'll put that right in here. Toss that in. And my cabbage. Get that tossed in there. Let's go ahead and throw the onions in. And a little bit of chicken stock. People don't realize when you go to Asian restaurants and you ask for steamed vegetables, you're not getting vegetarian vegetables. You're getting vegetables steamed in chicken stock almost every time. So if you're vegan or vegetarian, you need to ask them. Because if that's the way they're cooking them, then you're getting chicken.
On April 4th, 7:30 p.m., you partook a plate of chicken parmesan.
Chicken isn't vegan?
See, I cranked that up even higher. So we need to get that temperature up. Can you believe it? We're almost done with this recipe. It's really that easy.
It's so easy to use. Geico.com. A caveman could do it.
What?
Oh, no,
Not cool.
I did not.
Now, if you're looking at this, you can see there's a lot of liquid in there. It doesn't look like it's the way you'd want it to be, because we still have to thicken this. So don't worry too much. Okay. Okay, we're just about cooked. So our next thing would be reduce the heat a little bit. Take a little bit of cornstarch. When you're using cornstarch, a lot of times you want to take hot water and mix the cornstarch into it really good, and then pour that in to avoid clumping. Or you can just do it this way. Make sure you spread it out real thin like this. Just a little bit at a time, and stir it in really good. That's just fine as well. Just be careful with that because you got to do it slowly. And if you've never used cornstarch before, probably better to do it the other way first until you kind of see about how much you're going to need. A little more in there. Cornstarch is activated by heat. So if you were to put cornstarch in cold liquid, then it really clumps and it doesn't thicken anything. Just something to remember. If you use something like lecithin, that will thicken things too, and that actually will work when it's cold as well. Just about here. Remember, when you're adding that cornstarch, do it slow. Not too much at a time. Less is more. You can see how thick that is. How thick that's getting anyway. Okay, and once that's thickened up, you can really see how thick that sauce has gotten there. That's just how we want it. So with that, this recipe is done. All there is left to do now is get the heat turned off and eat. And there you go. Once you got that all plated up, just go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of sesame seed over the top and you're good to go. There's our finished product, everybody. A little bit of shrimp stir fry. That's about as good as it gets. Super healthy, low calorie. That's good stuff. Nice and crunchy on the shrimp. Still firm on the vegetables. To die for, man. Hope you liked that recipe, everybody. I sure did, because I'm just gonna keep eating this while I'm talking to you. Because this is freaking good. Really, it's good. A thing to remember, especially with a recipe like this, is that things happen really fast. The vegetables cook quick, shrimp cooks fast. You've got to have everything ready to go. In fact, we have a video that we're linking right above here that teaches you a little bit about kitchen organization, how to have everything out, all your utensils, all your ingredients portioned, everything ready to go before you start cooking. I'll tell you what, man, that's invaluable, because if you don't have anything ready to go and you're cooking something like this, it's gonna overcook on you. Just to let you know on this, if I had cooked these vegetables maybe a couple of minutes longer, they would have started getting mushy, and that's one of the best things about stir fries. Everything is nice, light, and crunchy. That's the way you want to keep it. I hope you enjoyed making this recipe, and as always, I invite you to comment down below. I'd love to hear from you and see if you made this recipe, how it turned out for you, especially if you had any problems or anything with it. Send me a message down below, let me know what the problem was, and maybe I can help you out with it. If you liked it, leave a comment below as well. Love to hear from you. So until next time, I hope you all have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.
Oh, I think there's a K in Knucklehead.